Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Crazy X long story, should I get a restraining order? I, M22, broke up with my girlfriend, F23, in August of 2021. Since then it has been a nightmare. And I will try to explain my side. To set up the frame, from month 1 of the relationship she would tell me she would not be okay if I was not in her life. Which, at the time, made me feel special, but now, just haunts me. So I moved on after I left her, met someone new that I liked and was okay. I did contact her post-breakup though. I wrote a closure letter and a couple long emails telling her she will be fine, I hope she is well etc. We met a few times to talk about what went wrong and it always left things worse. This is because she had told me that she would never get over me, I am her person, and she would not be okay if I left her. So I tried to ease it and show her that I was thinking about her, despite me saying we should not be together. Anyways, after I met someone new, she showed up at my house at 2 AM and told me that she tried to kill herself because she saw me with someone new. This completely ruined the relationship I was in, and left an aura over my head that I am responsible for someone's life. She knows that I have past trauma, best friend suicide, and family suicide threats, and I think she used it against me. So, I did not contact her for a while, until she called me at 3 AM one night, crying, and not saying anything except come over. Stupid me, I went over because I thought she was trying to kill herself. When I get to her room, she tackles me and tries to kiss me. I tell her that I am seeing someone new and I cannot do anything with her, to which she guilts me and says it's me, you know me. We both live in a small town with only 2 or 3 bars. I have been binge drinking to try to numb my thoughts, and now she, who never drank, is going to the bar that I frequent on the weekends. She is also starting to go to the gym that I go to, at the times that I always have gone to. 2 weeks ago, after seeing her multiple times at the gym, she walks out at the same time that I do and holds the door for me. I, stupidly again, say you can't even say hi? And try to walk away. She calls me after, freaking out saying that I am manipulating her, and to calm her down, we meet up and talk. It was fine after, just casual catching up, until she texts me a letter the next day with the same manipulative language. I tell her that I always will care about how she is doing and that sparks something again for her. I tell her to give it time, we both need to mature if it will ever work again, and that I don't want to hold her back and that she should move on. We had an okay texting conversation in which she invited me over and I said no. Whenever I say no she tells me you never cared about me anyways, to which I always reason that I did love her and I do care about her etc. It feels like I fall right into her trap every time. So I am at the bar a few days later, and she comes up and grabs me by the waist. I turn around and find her leaning on another guy. I walk away knowing what she is trying to do. I continue to try to walk away and she grabs me by the shirt hard and forces me to talk to her. In her manic screaming and crying, I caress her arms and face, lovingly and firmly to try to calm her down, which is another huge mistake I made. So today, she accused me of assault because I held her to calm her down. In no way was I trying to hurt her and she has to know that. What should I do? This town is small, I am still in college so I can't move, and she told me she is trying to stay in this small town. For some reason, I can't avoid her despite changing my workout schedule, going to new bars etc. Do you guys think I should get a restraining order? I am worried that she will try to get false assault charges on me. No court will give you a restraining order if you keep initiating conversations, going to her home voluntarily at 3 AM, hugging and kissing her etc. You are keeping this going as much as she is. Just stop giving in to her emotional blackmail. Stop responding. Blank her. She's not going to kill herself. And if she does, it's not your fault, it's because she is mentally ill. Restrain yourself from any contact with her. Op is creating his own drama. Move on op and block/ignore her. You have made a lot of mistakes. Time to stop. You're right, thank you for the hard truth. You're sending her mixed signals, and when she doesn't communicate the way you want, you threaten to file a restraining order against her. Get a grip, my guy. Leave her alone. Change your schedule if it will help you avoid her. Story 2. Is this normal or red flags? I, 42 meters, have been in a relationship with a 40F for a year. So my GF and I recently got engaged. We're both divorcees and single parents. My kids are all college age and she has younger ones. Her ex and her are very involved with the kids, but introducing me into the mix has been a challenge at best. Her kids 12, 13 and 17 are nice, and I've met the 2 older kids, but the youngest has an issue with mom dating. She has told me the youngest in the past has told her that she wants mom and dad to get back together. Their co-parenting relationship is one in which they do many things together with the kids. Nearly everything together with the kids. Vacations are done together with the kids, and mom and dad and kids will even share a room to save on costs. Dad's birthday is celebrated with mom and the kids. All the holidays are done together with the kids. She has dated before and was in one serious relationship which ended on not so great terms. However, she admitted that last interest in her life was never willing to be involved the way I am involved. She is a single mom and does work a full-time job as well. I step up and help out whenever and wherever I can. Of course, everything I come and do revolves around whether or not the kids, primarily the youngest, will come home. I will make dinner for her and the kids a couple of nights a week. I work from home and it's really nothing to throw something in the oven and prepare a couple of sides. I do this on her busy days where she basically has to manage picking up kids from school and then get them off to their after-school activities. On her non-kid weekends, I go over and help with anything she needs help with around the house. Yard work, maintenance, minor household repairs such as clearing out sinks where Drano isn't cutting it anymore. I've been a homeowner before and have learned how to take care of many items. Prior to me, she would normally try to get her ex to help a little. This would result in conflict between them and usually many things would just remain undone. I also will go over and help her get her house cleaned up so that she isn't spending all day Saturday or Sunday just cleaning and getting ready for the week. Again, this is on her non-kid weekends. Recently she was talking about getting a new home with a bit more living space. We're engaged and so I asked, why don't you give it a couple of years and we can look together? We had discussed not getting married for a few years to give the youngest time to really adjust and get older too. Again, in a few years the youngest will be a teen and will care a lot less about what mom is doing. She replied that there is not a situation in which her and the kids will live together. She seems to flip-flop on many things and simply seems afraid of commitment. Really, I was surprised that she, and I for that matter, even wanted to remarry. She has admitted that she feels guilty about getting a divorce from the kid's father and that she has caused the kids pain, in terms of not having a house with mom and dad together and being a complete family. I have however, let her know what my wants and desires are from the relationship. I do want to meet her ex and get along with him. I have told her that when we get married, the kids can go on my insurance plan as well. I have way better insurance and it's much less expensive because it's heavily subsidized by my employer. I spent the bulk of the holidays alone or with some of my family. My kids elected to spend the holidays with mom this year, which is fine. Her and I are not on great terms. However, I really wanted to be with her during the holidays, which simply did not happen. I have told her that while this year I understood that we likely will not spend holidays together, that I do have an expectation of spending the holidays together next year. She feels I have put pressure on her though to force something to happen. I do know she loves me and wants to be with me. I was surprised to receive the Christmas gifts that I did. I know she spent nearly $500 on me for Christmas. On her free weekends we are almost always together, and we've begun planning out things we're going to do in 2022, concerts, camping, mini vacation, etc. Most years she takes the kids and the ex-tags along, on a vacation over the winter holidays as well. This year she didn't plan any of that. At first she said it was because the kids didn't want to do anything, but she has also mentioned in relaxed conversations that she didn't want to go anywhere with her ex, at all. She is making progress on the youngest kid front. A few months ago, when the youngest would call her and we were out, she would ask who she was with, and my GF would avoid the question or redirect. Now she will tell her that she's with me. At first the youngest was rude, but now she is getting accustomed to knowing. If the kids were home and I swung by her house to pick her up, she wanted me to park the car out of view of the windows and remain in the car. Now, when I pick her up, I'm leaving my dog there, who plays with their dog, and I'm helping her into the car, as a gentleman should. Her youngest knows that I go over and help and has recently asked if I could fix a couple of things in her room. I'm venting here and being patient with my fiancé. I know having a love interest that is this willing to step up and be involved is relatively new for her. Based on what I have read about healthy co-parenting, I don't think the kids have really grieved the divorce. They have been divorced for 5 years, and the youngest is having a difficult time with all of this because she has always seen mom and dad together and doing everything with them. However, I am having some difficulties with some things. The main one is the lack of commitment for the future. I know she's heavily compartmentalized and she tends to see things as she has a life with me and a separate life with the kids. I have essentially told her that doesn't work for me in a relationship. We're either going to begin to walk in life together or I need move on. I have told her that while I don't expect to be part of the family vacation this year in the summer, that I am not okay with her and her ex sharing a room. Of course she's welcome to do what she wants and I will have a decision to make. She did admit that if the roles were reversed, that she wouldn't even be okay with my ex, kids and me going off and doing any vacations together. I do feel a bit bad that I am putting some pressure on her to integrate me with the family. But I also understand that I am not getting any younger either, and when we were first dating that it didn't really other me. However, we're really attached to each other, and some things that didn't really bother me before to bother me a bit now. I want to be included and share in making memories with her. I feel that if I'm a priority in her life, that I should be treated like one and should be included. I want to show up in her life, and part of that means showing up in her kids' lives as well. Oddly, even though I haven't really met her kids, except the 2 oldest in passing, and her youngest is very standoffish to me, I do care for them. Much of that is because I care for this woman and her kids are part of her life. Constructive comments and feedback is appreciated. Thank you. So all this and you asked her to marry you? Shouldn't this stuff be worked out first? It seems there are a lot of issues to work out and you are trying to rush her into doing them. I'm really not trying to rush her into anything. She had been working on incorporating me into her life more prior to me asking her to marry her. I know that this will take some patience. Some of these things didn't surface until after I asked her. I do not make demands that she does anything. However, I have told her what works for me in a relationship and what doesn't. I am perfectly capable of walking away if our goals and values do not align, and so is she. However, a few months ago I did mention to her that spending a handful days a month together is not what I'm looking for in a relationship. We definitely have feelings for each other. I was not and am not willing to sit here for the next 5 years waiting for something that may or may not happen. When we spoke about it, I was very clear that I do not expect anything overnight, but I want to understand what a future of us looks like with her. Is it aligned? I'm a good man and I give my all. I am also at a point in the relationship in which I'm not okay with being sidelined while she's out with her ex doing all these things. I pointed out that she spends more time with her ex and does more things with him and the kids than with me. She understood that and how I felt and wanted to change that dynamic. My advice would be to start pulling back from this. It sounds like she's planning her life around not you and you're planning your life around only her. That is a horrible imbalance. Who is looking out for your interests? It seems to me she isn't ready to commit to you. I think it is ill-advised to propose marriage to someone who is deeply enmeshed in her family and ex until your role is honored. But you do you. I have the same attitude right now as well. I'm seeing whether or not she'll get some healthy boundaries and if me being incorporated into her life will really happen. If it doesn't, then I will move on. I love her very much, but I'm not going to accept being second. We've gotten serious at the end of 2021. If 2022 is more of the same song and dance, for my own sanity and happiness, I'm ready to move on. I understand her involvement with her ex. She has 3 kids with him and does need help. I do feel that it's too much involvement, and I have voiced this with her. You only dated for a year before proposing. That's the issue. She may have said yes, but she is clearly in a different mindset than you. That's why it feels like you are trying so hard and she isn't. Because she isn't trying to incorporate you into the family, it's too soon for that. And demanding that you spend it together next year. She's probably put off because you're making plans for a time further in the future than you'll have been together. Give it more time and expect to be treated like a boyfriend, rather than a husband. You're engaged, yet she doesn't see a future where you're all living in the same home. If you've been together long enough to get engaged, you've been together long enough for you to consistently be around the 12-yo. She's coddling her and giving her false hope of a mom and dad reunion. This isn't fair to her daughter. My 7-year-old asks every now and then if his dad and I will get back together. The answer is always the same, a firm no and a short explanation of why. Mom and dad are much better friends and we are all happier this way in the long run. Short, sweet, and the point gets across. He usually only asks when he's mad at my boyfriend. Ha ha. Okay. Back to you. This doesn't sound healthy for any of you. Not the mom, not her daughter, and certainly not you. Her mom needs some therapy to see how what she's doing isn't helping. My ex and I get along great, but to avoid confusing the kids, we keep things separate. Vacations, holidays, etc. While what your fiancé and her ex have is great and could work, it will only work if they do separate rooms while on vacation and include their significant others. I know your fiancé has good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and she's going to lose a good man if she doesn't stop catering to everyone else's feelings and not her own. We were speaking the other day. She mentioned that she's getting tired of feeling like her 12-year-old is in control of her relationship. She's also vented that the youngest needs to start getting over things, that she has someone who's willing to step up in her life and me, can't because the youngest has an issue. She's just trying to give her time to process things too. She wanted me to join them at her friend's house for Nye, and that she is intentionally not mentioning Nye to her ex, who normally joins them, hoping that he will just make other plans and that he will not join them. She said she's waiting until the evening, last minute, to even say anything to him. I unfortunately will not be joining because the youngest doesn't want me there. I think some of this will be changing soon. She has said that she wants me there with them all. So you were disinvited ahead of time, but she's just gonna wait till last minute to see if he wants to come, in hopes the late notice doesn't give him time to prepare for this thing that they do every year, and he needs no notice to know that Nye is coming. Reading through your post and comments gives me the strong impression you're the one that doesn't have a full understanding of where your relationship is. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.